3 Santander customers have lost a total of £36,200 in the last month to a terrifying text message scam, and the bank is refusing to refund. Ruth Quinn from Kent, Ron Williams from Southampton and Rod Owens from Coventry have had £15,000, £12,000, and £9,200 respectively stolen in the scam first reported by This Is Money last February. In that case, Edward Smith had £23,000 swiped in the scam known in the industry as smishing, or SMS fraud, again, from his Santander account. The scam involves fraudsters sending out text messages to victims pretending to be from their bank. They use a sneaky technique called number spoofing to make the text messages appear on an existing thread of genuine messages from the bank, to make them look even more convincing. In these 3 cases, the messages were made to appear as if they had come from Santander. It is not clear whether the fraudsters targeted the victims with knowledge they banked with Santander or whether it was a scattergun approach.
The fake messages involved in this scam usually say there has been unusual activity and the customer needs to call the number or visit the website link provided. In the panic, victims are then tricked by criminals into handing over further details. They are also convinced to give access to their online banking and generate a security code, which is then used to siphon money from accounts, and this is what happened in the 3 cases sent to This Is Money in the space of 5 days.
However, to the despair of the victims, Santander has refused to refund on grounds of negligence despite the genuine-looking appearance of the contact from criminals.
All of the cases are similar in nature. The fraudsters sent out genuine-looking texts that appear as if they are from Santander saying there has been unusual activity, and giving a phone number to call. The 3 customers all called this number and were asked to generate a one-time password, OTP.
The scammers then use this in-account information they have gleaned to empty the accounts at speed. In the case of Rod Owens, he noticed money was missing from his account 48 hours after the cash was swiped. He claims Santander hadn't alerted him of the huge payment leaving his account, and says he was told that the transaction was flagged in its system, but it still didn't contact him.
He has had his refund claim rejected. A letter This Is Money has seen from Santander's fraud department says, "We have come to the decision to decline your fraud claim. You have given a third party your security details from your online banking. The disputed transactions have been authorized using our OTP service. A text message was sent to your registered mobile phone number and entered correctly into online banking to authorize the transactions.
For this reason we are unable to reimburse your account in full. However, due to the transactions taking place inside your overdraft, we have agreed to reimburse the amount of £1,500. This Is Money sent the 3 cases to Santander to investigate and why it has refused to refund the customers in question. A spokesman for the bank said, each of these customers provided the fraudsters with their OTPs and allowed the fraudsters access to their online banking. OTPs are security measures we put in place to protect customers, and we have specific warnings on our online banking login screen and when sending OTPs not to divulge these to anyone. In 2 of the cases our fraud detection flagged the transactions and contact was made to the customer's registered telephone where these transactions were confirmed as genuine, authorizing them to go ahead. Whilst we are very sympathetic to customers who are victims of scams, as there was no Santander error and all 3 customers divulged personal, security information, we therefore cannot accept any responsibility for the losses on these accounts. We assess all fraud claims on a case-by-case basis, in line with the Payment Service Regulations and the Consumer Credit Association. In relation to Mr. Owens, it says that a flag was raised of potential fraudulent activity when the payments were later cross-checked and the recipient account identified as being linked to another case.
It says it put a block on Mr. Owens' account to prevent any further transactions and tried to call him, but he had however been instructed by the fraudsters to put call forwarding on his mobile. For this reason, it was unable to contact him. The growing problem of fraud was highlighted in recent figures from Financial Fraud Action UK. It showed an increase in losses to fraudsters using various social engineering techniques including targeted smishing fraud. The FFA showed an increase in financial fraud from £755 million lost in 2015 to £768.8 million in 2016. Worryingly, many Britons are now using current accounts like savings accounts, thanks to the higher interest on offer, meaning more cash is likely to be held in them. This is true of Santander, which was up until recent times offering 3% on balances up to £20,000. This is now 1.5%, which is still higher than most traditional savings products.
Santander says that people should always use the phone number on the one of their bank card, or usual bank website address. It adds that customers should never give out personal or security details such as a PIN, OTP, or full password.
This is Money also asked whether banks are working closely enough together to stop money being transferred into fraudulently opened accounts. In one case, the money ended up at Barclays and in another, nationwide. Santander said, "As soon as we become aware of any fraudulent payments, we notify the beneficiary bank in order to secure and recover the funds."
This is why it's so important for customers to contact us as soon as possible if they think they may have fallen victim to a fraud or scam. It adds that it invests heavily each year to alert customers to scams and has the latest technology. The 3 customers now face going to the financial ombudsman in regards to the fraud. This is Money has argued in the past that it is easy to fall victim to this type of scam, given the fact the average person who hadn't read about this type of deception can be easily fooled into believing the contact is genuinely from the bank.